Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday whenever you hear and or watch this. All right, BYU got a big commitment late on Easter evening. Actually, it was like late into the night of Easter night. Legend Glasker of Lehi High School has committed to the BYU football program. He made that official on social media, and congratulations to him. Now, the last name sounds familiar. Let's get this out of the way right up front. Last name Glasker, you're hey, is he related to Isaiah? Yes, he is in fact Isaiah Glasker's cousin. They grew up close to one another. There's a picture of them actually when Isaiah was playing youth football and Legend just starting out in his football playing days as like a peewee football player. And both of them have blossomed into absolutely stellar football players. Isaiah, he looks like the next great BYU linebacker. He is absolutely stellar. Well, Legend, he's got a big namesake to live up to because when you're named Legend, well, people are going to expect some legendary things from you. And that's the one thing about this is everything I hear / what I have seen, both with my own eyes and also watching it on film, Legend Glasker has everything capable, or at least everything I think he needs to be a legend at BYU. Now, time will tell if that truly comes to pass and he lives up to the billing because there's going to potentially be a mission in the mix there. But the other part of it is Legend was a guy last year who, despite playing in just 7 games, and he was one of the guys out there. Some of you out there think that transfer rules don't apply. Well, in Utah high school football, there are still cases where guys are forced to sit out. And that happened to Legend Glasker last year after he transferred to the Lehi High School to play for the Pioneers. He was not able to suit up until the end of September last season. But in just 7 games, he had over 800 yards. And more importantly, if you look at his stats, kind of a slow start in his first game against Skyridge, 6 receptions, 67 yards. Then he follows it up in a game against Westlake, a blowout, 3 receptions for 73 yards. But then October 10th, against one of the best defenses in Utah high school football, the Lone Peak Knights, in a 24-21 loss, this was his stat line. 9 receptions, 226 yards, long of 53 yards in the game, averaged 25.1 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns. Absolutely made an imprint, even in a loss, that said, hey, who is this kid? What do I need to know about him? And that's when we really kind of burst onto the scene. He followed up a couple of weeks later with a huge performance, 3 receptions, 175 yards, and 1 touchdown against Layton, and then finished the season in mid-November in the state championship game, a tough loss against Corner Canyon. It was in the state semifinals. Yeah, state semifinals. They lose 35-34. Extra points and kicking was an issue for Lehi in this game, but Legend did his part in this game. 10 receptions, 129 yards, and 4 touchdowns. His season totals last year, 37 receptions, 781 yards, average of 21.1 yards per reception, a long of 81 in terms of his long reception of the year, and 11 touchdowns. That's in 7 games. What could he do over 10 regular season games and potentially as many as 4 playoff games this year as a senior for Lehi High School? There's a reason why BYU is on him early on. Fessy Sitake, Aaron Roderick, the BYU Brain Trust, Kalani Sitake, obviously, were in on this kid early, and it paid off with him committing to BYU. He will join his teammate, PJ Taki, who, crazily enough, is the nephew of former BYU linebacker, Sione Taki. You noticing a trend here? Family connections obviously help, but Legend has got everything I think he needs to be a standout football player for BYU. Already 6'2", 175, 180 pounds, depending on where you look. I would imagine he'll be hitting the weight room a lot this offseason. Probably already has done that. And I figure he'll probably measuring maybe closer to 190 this year. He's not necessarily a top-end burner, but you watch his route ability, his just ability to run all of the routes required of him, because I can tell you what I know of Lehi's offense. Ed Larson, the former head coach, installed an offense that it's not just one read offense. He requires his quarterbacks, his wide receivers, his tight ends. They all need to understand the entire route tree and be able to run said route tree if they want to play in this offense. Now, with Ed stepping aside, we'll see what tweaks are made to the Lehi football program. But there's a lot of continuity with the coaching staff staying on despite his retirement. I expect that Legend Glasker is going to have an absolutely stellar senior season. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes over 1,000 yards, maybe challenges for 20 touchdowns. BYU's had a good track record of late, bringing in top-tier high school football talent, particularly at wide receiver, and turning them into pretty good football players. Anybody want to talk about Puka Nacua? Puka is the single best high school football player I have ever seen with my own eyes, and that includes Britton Covey. I would say that Britton Covey is the 1B to Puka's 1A, and obviously Britton played at Utah, but guys like Legend Glasker, you want those guys in your program. BYU right now has Parker Kingston, who I think is poised to have a breakout year this year as a slot receiver for BYU. With Keelan Marion moving on, I expect that Parker's going to have a big time imprint in terms of returning and at slot receiver. Cody Hagan, a top tier talent, one of the fastest wide receivers to ever come out of the Utah high school ranks. Dominic McKenzie from Southern Utah. BYU has done an incredible job with Fesi Sitake leading the way in recruiting this top-tier talent at wide receiver. And so far, the track record suggests they're going to come in and contribute at a high level. Now, we'll see what Cody Hagan and Dom McKenzie can do this year for BYU. I forgot to mention Tei Nakua. They have brought in a lot of talent from the Utah high school ranks at receiver. And the nice part is all of it has bona fide credentials in terms of their production at the high school level, track times, skill set. In the case of Legend Glasker, he's got already a nice frame at 6'2". You can't teach height. I say it all the time in basketball and in football, that range. The other thing I love about what I've seen from Legend Glasker, he's got an incredible catch radius. You can throw that ball anywhere within a seemingly 10-foot window around him. He's going to go get that football. And that's a key part. Not all of the footballs out there in the world are going to ever be that accurate and put right on you. Every so often they will be, but you have to bail your quarterback out. Even if they may miss you by a yard or two, bail them out, bring in that tough catch and move the chains. And that's what I see from a guy like Legend Glasker. And I'm looking forward to seeing him playing in a BYU uniform, whether it's a year from now, 3 years from now. I don't care when it is. The track record suggests he's poised to have a major senior season this year in the Utah high school football ranks. If you're anywhere in the Utah Valley area, get out and watch Lehi High School. The region they play in is considered to be the SEC of Utah high school football. It's the best football top to bottom in that league. And Lehi is going to be right there in the mix all season long. And I, for one, plan to stop by and watch the Pioneers and obviously watch PJ Taki along with his new BYU teammate commit in Legend Glasker. And once again, I'll reiterate that if you want to live with the Barney Fife quote from How I Met Your Mother, will legend wait for it be legendary? I sure hope so. And I will be tracking, obviously, his stats this coming season for the Lehi Pioneers and obviously updating you guys here on Locked On Cougars as we talk all things BYU every single day. All right, coming up next, we'll finish up today's show. A couple more notes on the recruiting front. BYU's in hot pursuit of a tight end with a familiar last name. And with Keelan Marion's departure, apparently BYU's not going to sit back and obviously wait for guys to develop in terms of guys that they want to bring into the program. They've offered a guy who's already committed elsewhere to another program. What does that mean for Fesi Sitake and company? We'll finish up on that note next, right here on Locked On Cougars.